Hello everyone, I'm David, and today I'll be teaching you a dynamic flow yoga sequence. And if you have any injuries, you're just going to modify your practice as much as you need to. So you don't want to take your body into any pain. So that's not yoga. So modify, make sure you're as comfortable as possible. We'll do some sequences on the mat, and we'll do some knee work. So if your knees are a little sore, you can see I've got a pillow here, or you can use a blanket. And before we start, we'll just get the body ready for asana. So maybe take the palms out, and then from here, lift the shoulders up, and then drop them down. You can inhale through the nose, drop the shoulders down, exhale through the mouth. Do that a couple of times. That will calm the nervous system down. Inhale through the nose. Gently drop the shoulders down, relax them, palms facing forward. You can do that a few times, especially if you're feeling a little anxious. It calms the body down. When you get ready for your asanas, for the poses, you're going to breathe in and out through the nose. Let's open the sequence with an Om all together. Bring the hands to the heart center. Before we start, let's do some shoulder opening. So you can use a strap, any kind of long strap, any kind of old towel. If I stand to the side, you'll see what happens here. So the strap's inactive when it's in front of you. There's a little loop here, and your feet are slightly apart. Relax the toes by just lift them up, and then bring the baby toe down, and then all the other toes down. So you want to really relax your feet here. And then to open your shoulders, you just bring the strap over the head. If your shoulders are a little tight, you're going to bend the elbows like this and bring it back as far as you want to. So go slowly. Your strap can be nice and wide. You want to move really slowly. This will open the shoulders. You can do this at any time of the day. So it's really nice to do in the morning. It's chest opening, it's shoulder opening. So when it's in front of you like this, it's inactive. As you bring it over the head, it becomes active. You really want to be careful with your shoulders, your rotator cuffs. You can take a little movement to one side, to the center, and you go to the other side. So that's a way to open your shoulders. I'm going to pop the strap down. And then from here, let's come to the front of the mat. If you've got a tight back, we're going to catch hold of the elbows. And then from here, tuck in the belly button, and you can stretch your back this way safely. Don't go too far, and I wouldn't throw your head back. You're going to injure it. Bring the arms back. And then we're going to fold forward. We're going to go into a forward fold. My back's feeling a little tight today, so I'm going to bend my knees, chest towards the thighs, and that's going to release my back. And then from here, I'm going to release the elbows, catching behind the knees, chest towards the thighs. If your back is more open, you can straighten the legs. Let's release from here. Interlace the hands behind the back, palms together. This pose is called Prasarita. If your back is more open, you can always turn the palms to the ceiling. Bring the hands down to either side of the front feet. Let's lift the heels up. Just release the hamstrings and the calves. If your back is more open, hands flat. Hands down flat. Step or jump back. Let's come into plank pose. And from plank, we're going to keep the glutes in line with the back. You can do supported plank by bringing the knees down. And then from here, we're going to go into chaturanga. Bring the chest down, and this is your chaturanga. If this doesn't work for you, don't go into pain. Just bring the knees down like this. Come up, plank, and then chaturanga. Chaturanga dandasana it's called. Come up. Remember, bring the knees down if you need to. And then from here, we're going to sit back. And we're going to go into balasana, child's pose. And just release your back just for a few moments. Then you're going to walk the hands forward, stretch the back here. We're going to lift the head up. And we're going to thread the left arm underneath the right. And just have a little stretch here. It's really good for your digestion. It'll release the shoulder. If your ear is down, mine isn't down, you can bring the top arm behind the back. And then you're going to slowly release. We're going to do the other side. Lift the head up. Thread the right underneath the left. And remember, if you have a big gap between the hips and the heels, you can place something underneath there. We're not moving terribly fast, not yet. And this will release your shoulders. If you sleep badly and the cover comes off you and you wake up with a stiff neck, it will help to release your neck. Let's release from here. We're going to sit back on the back of the feet And then we're going to bring the forearms together, the wrists together. I'm going to interlace the hands. I'm going to move the wrist around like this to release your wrist. So if you have a tight back, shoulders a little tight, if you sit at your desk a lot, this will release it. You notice I'm sitting back on the back of the feet. That's the plantar fascia. That will release your arch of the foot. But if your feet don't want to sit back like that, sit back flat. And we're going to stretch the hands, bring the arms up, relax the neck. You can take a stretch to one side, to the center, and then to the other side. Shake everything out. And then from here, we're going to just stretch the back a little bit. So open up the knees. And then from here, we'll stretch the back and we'll do a few cat-cows. Inhale, look up. Exhale towards your belly button. Inhale. And exhale. You can have the feet flat or you can have the toes up. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now you can turn the hands to face in if that feels right for you. You can release the wrist a little bit. Take a little movement side to side. You can open up the hands a little wider. You can do these exercises in the morning. They're really nice for your back. Cat-cows. Inhale up towards the sky. Exhale. Curl the back in. Look towards your belly button. Keep the tailbone up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Turn the hands to face in if that feels right for you. If it doesn't feel right for you, then you can do the other position again 3 times. Take a little movement to release your forearms. 3 times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And just give everything a little shake. We use our hands a lot. So this will help to release your wrists. Now from here, we're going to go into bowing pose. So we're just going to bring the forehead down and then keep the arms close to the side. The nose is not squashed. And then from here, we come into upward facing dog. So you're going to take the thighs off the mat like this. Rather than the thighs down, upward facing dog, that will stretch the back. Let's do bowing pose again. Forehead down, knees down. You can cushion the knees with your blanket if you need to. And then from here, this will stretch the back. The tailbone's up. Come up. Upward facing dog. One more time. So this is bowing pose. It's a nice way to release your back. Come up and stretch the back like this. And then from here, let's come into downward facing dog. If you have sore wrists, if you've got yoga blocks, use your blocks. Place the blocks on the floor. Place your hands on the blocks, and that will give you some support for your wrists. And in your downward facing dog, you don't want to have your feet wider than your hips. The hands face forward. Heels are up if the back's a little tight. You can take a few gentle bounces here to release your back. Now from here, we're going to take the right leg up, point the toes. Let's turn the ankle around a few times clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Let's open the right hip by just taking the right heel towards the left glute. I'm going to step the right foot forward. And from here, we're going to go into lunge. You can take the left heel up a little bit, hands onto the hips, square the hips up. Or you can bring the arms up, catch hold of the elbows and open your shoulders. You might want to take a few gentle bounces here. You might not. Listen to how your body feels. Now from here, we're going to bring the hands down. And we're going to make sure that left knee is nice and comfortable. So if it's uncomfortable, you're going to place something underneath it. So you can place a blanket. I'm going to turn around and show you how you use it. So from here, I just place a blanket underneath it like this. And that gives me some comfort. I can bring the arms up. I can catch hold of the elbows, give everything a roll. Bring the arms close to your ears. Take a little roll here. This mudra, this is Anjaneyasana, this asana. And the hands go into a mudra called Kali mudra. Interlace the fingers, index fingers touch, thumbs cross. And you just roll these shoulders. We're never going to pain. If it doesn't feel right for you, modify. You can catch hold of the elbows, stay here, or you can go into Anjaneyasana. If you want to work a little deeper, bend the arms. We take the left arm out. We take it behind the back, and you can walk it up and let the fingers touch like this. But don't force it or hold your top lightly. If your hip's a little tight and it feels comfortable for you, take the left knee up a fraction and release it. So the blanket gives you some support here. We don't stay long if it doesn't feel right for you. Make sure the knee is always cushioned. So from here, we take the right foot out to the edge of the mat, both hands inside, and take a little rock, rocking backwards and forwards. So this pose is called Utthana Prasthasa, lizard. And then you can bring the knee down. If you want to work a little deeper, you've got the right foot out, so you take the left elbow down. If it doesn't come down, don't force it. I would stay here. But if the elbows come down, you can bring the outside and then the inside. If you force the elbows down, you're going to injure yourself. So you don't want to do that. You can always hold the foot with the inside hand and stay here. And then we're going to slowly release. So from here, we're going to come up. We're going to leave the right foot where it is. I'm going to take the left leg up. You can hold the right ankle, left hand down on the floor. If you suffer with any dizziness working upside down, then you can keep the leg down, just take it up a little bit. If you want to play here, bring the hands to the heart center. Or you can take the arms out, Virmadrasana 3, Warrior 3. And then slowly release. From here, we're going to swoop the hands down. We're going to come into our Utkatasana, our chair. We're going to come all the way up. And then we're going to swoop the hands down. Come all the way up. Swoop the hands down. And then from here, interlace the hands behind the back. Palms together, Prasarita. Hands down to either side of the front feet. And you can step or jump back. Come into plank. You can bring the knees down in your plank, remember. Chaturanga, you can bring the knees down like this. Or, if you're doing the full pose, hips in line with your back, come down into Chaturanga and come up. It builds strength in the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to sit back. Now, to stretch your back a little bit more, if it feels right for you, forearms down, knees down. It's a very safe way to stretch your back. You keep the forearms down, the knees down. Take the nose off the mat. Slide the back towards the hands. And then you lift the elbows up. You can keep the thighs down if you want to, or thighs up. I'll show you again. Forearms down, knees down. So we slide the back towards the hands. So we go into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Once the head reaches the hands, we lift the elbows up. Knees off a little bit. It'll be kinder to your back if the back is tight, or thighs down. Your drishti, the point of focus, looks ahead. You can move the neck gently if you want to, like this. Sit back. Let's do it one more time. So we're allowing the back to open up. Forearms down, knees down. We slide forward. Keep sliding. When the head reaches the hands, then we lift the elbows up. And we come into our Cobra. So it's a gentle movement here. Try to keep everything static. And then from here, then we come, well, so keep it static. I'll do it one more time. So forearms down, knees down. They don't move. And then the back gets a stretch. Then we come into our downward facing dog. Take a few gentle bounces here just to release the back. You can move around a little bit, whatever feels nice. We take the left leg up, point the toes, turn the ankle around a few times. Just to release the ankle, isolate that movement, and then bend the knee, open up the hip. We step that left foot forward, the right knee up. We take a little bounce here. So whatever we do on one side, we're trying to do on the other side. If your shoulders are a little tight, you can have the arms up. You can take a gentle movement either side. Or you can catch hold of the elbows. When you bring that knee down, cushion it. So if it needs cushioning, if it's okay, then you don't need any cushioning. So from here, we bring the arms up into Anjaneyasana, hands into Kali Mudra, take a little roll. I'm going to bend the arms. You can support the back a little bit. I'm going to turn around so you can see what's happening on this side. You've got that left foot forward, a little roll, bend the arms, right arm out. Now, you can see this side's a little tight. So if I stay on the knees here, you can see, look, it doesn't really reach. All I do is I release the top hand, find that right elbow with kindness, I walk it up, and then the hands meet. This pose you can do standing up, you can do it by your desk, you can do it around the house, at work. And if your hips are a little tight, you take the back knee off like that. So it's called Gomukhasana, the arms. And then we're going to go into lizard, both hands inside. We take a little rock here. And this will open up the hips. If your hips are a little tight and the elbows don't want to go down, come up, take a little twist here. We didn't do it on the first side, but you can do it on this side here. Hands to the heart center and open. There's ways to open the body. So go slowly. You want to listen to it. Slowly to open up the body. Look back. Even pick up the back foot if that feels right for you. And remember, when you bring the elbows down, it's the outside elbow first and then the inside elbow. So if you run, it's a nice way to open up the hips pre your run. Or you hold the foot with the inside hand, or if your hips are a little tight, you can do that, or both hands down, take a little rock. So take your time with this. This is hip opening. It takes a bit of time to open up. And then from here, we slowly release, left foot to the front of the mat. So we're trying to balance the body. And we take the back leg up. You can hold the ankle, stay here. We're going to swoop the hands down, come into your Utkatasana, your chair, and come all the way up. You can release the shoulders. Let's bring the hands to the heart center. And then from here, gentle flow. And then we will wrap it up. So right foot forward, left foot back. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Let's open the shoulders. Look up towards the sky, or look ahead if it's better for your neck. Heels on one line lest they're injured. The front knee slightly over the ankle. You can modify as much as you need to. You want to listen to how your body feels. And then you open up the arms into Virabhadrasana 2. You can move the wrist around here. You can push the palms away. And that is really good for your pericardium, pressing into an imaginary wall. Shoulders a little tight. Wrap the right arm around the left. And instead of looking ahead, you look towards your thumbs. You lift the heels up. That will release your back. Ankle issues don't do it. Bring the heels down, Virabhadrasana 2. These warriors are all offerings. So take your time with it. To release your back, we take a reverse warrior. Left hand to the outside thigh, or move it around to the inside hip. Look up towards your hand. To warrior 2. Now we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. Parvita Pajvakatasana. So we turn on the left toes. The drishti, that point of focus, looks ahead. We bring this left shoulder outside the right thigh and we take a twist here. Look over the opposite shoulder. You can bring the knee down if you want to. Very easy way to do it. This gives the internal organs a nice stretch. To release, take the knee up if you need to. Back into Virabhadrasana 2. Take your reverse warrior. Now from here, we straighten that front knee, but we don't lock it out. There's still some movement here. We're going to Trikonasana. So we bring this right hand forward. We keep looking towards the right hand. And then from here, I place the right hand onto the shin. You could use a block here if you want to. Top arm active. If you're very close to your big toe, you could hook it. You could lift the heel up even like this. Come up and take a reverse warrior. Back to warrior 2. Let's do the other side. Left foot forward. Bring the arms up. Remember, if your back is tight, I'd keep the hands apart. The drishti, that point of focus, looks ahead. Open the arms like a bow and arrow into Virabhadrasana 2. Push the palms away. This, again, as I mentioned, is very good for the heart. Left arm around the right to release your shoulders. Backs that are tight and there's no ankle issues, lift the heels up. So instead of looking ahead, you look towards your thumbs. Heels down, Virabhadrasana 2. And then we bring the hands to the heart center. Now we leave the left foot where it is. We turn on the right toes. The easiest way is to bring the knee down. Make sure the knee's comfortable. Put a blanket underneath it if you need to. And then from here, we take a twist. And then we release, take the knee up, back into Virabhadrasana 2, take a reverse warrior. So right hand to the outside thigh, we'll bring it around to warrior 2. Then we straighten that front knee, keep bringing the front hand forward. Place the hand, this side's a little tighter for me, so I take my time here. The front knee is straight but not locked out. Top arm active. So you'll find one side of the body slightly more open than the other. Normally, take a reverse warrior. So you want to try to strengthen it by release from here and then from here by doing things on the other side of the body. Now we turn the feet in, bring the hands to the hips, and you can release your back a little bit. And I'm going to square the back up, fold forward, just to release everything. So take your time, especially if you suffer with low blood pressure. You want to come up and down slowly, just have a little stretch here. You can take the legs out a little wider, really good for the hamstrings. And then hands down, just feet together, bring them in. And then we come up. 2 more poses, and then we'll finish off this sequence. So from here, we're going to go into Ustrasana Camel. Bring the knees down, fingers onto your glutes. And then from here, I have my toes up if my back's a little tight. Fingers on the glutes, palms on the lower part of the back. So I'm going to start to release my back. So it's called Ustrasana, deceivingly deep, but very good for the back and the heart. So from here, torso forward, head back, and you just stay here. If your back feels like it wants to release, you can place one hand onto the heel, other hand gently onto the heel, torso forward, head back. Now to release out of this, place the hands back onto the hips and come up slowly. So remember, when you go into the pose, support your back, torso forward, head back. When you come out, hand onto the hip, hand onto the hip. And then you might want to go into child's pose here. Balasana. Slowly, we're going to release. Let's do a little twist. We'll do bridge and twist. So from here, we're going to bring the back down. We're going to walk the feet in and we're going to catch hold of the ankles if that's within your practice. If it's not, bring the hands down, lift the hips up, interlace the hands underneath the back and bridge. And then bring the hips down. Keep the belly button tucked in. And then take it up again. Bring it all the way down to the mat. And then take it up and stretch it that way. And then slowly release. Stretch the arms out. Stretch the legs out. Give yourself a stretch here. Flex the feet, point the toes. Let's bring the knees into the chest. And then we can take a few circular movements here. Just release your back. Then you can take a twist over to the left. If the head wants to move to the opposite side, great. But if it doesn't, keep the head looking up towards the sky. You can take the arms out here. And then to release, feet flat. If your back is a little tight, cross the knees. And then we do the other side. Knees over towards the right, head to the left. Or look up towards the sky. And then slowly, gently release. From here, you could go into your own relaxation. Thank you guys for joining me today. There are some other videos that I've done, some breathwork videos. So you could use that at the end of the class. You can stay longer for relaxation. You can find out more about my classes and about me on my social media, The Lost Yoga Boy on Instagram. See me and my pup on that app, or thelostyogaboy.com, my website. There's more information about me and what I teach and how I came into yoga and movement. Thank you so much for joining.